Hey there, everybody. My name's Dave, and I'm an emotional worth coach for quite possibly the last time. Today, as I have said over the last few days, I'm really excited to be making the announcement that I am rebranding, and I'm going to reveal all today. So I'm just going to give everyone a few minutes to join. It's literally only just gone 1 o'clock here in the UK, or 2 in Europe, and I know a couple of people are going to be joining from Canada, so it's just gone 8 a.m. there on the East Coast where my friends are. So let's get this show on the road and let's start looking to see what it is that I'm going to be revealing as my new brand. Firstly, though, what I want to do is I want to go through a little bit about why I'm rebranding whilst we await a few more people to come on. And the reason I'm looking at rebranding is the emotional worth coach brand just unfortunately hasn't quite been hitting the way that I wanted it to. It's not quite been going in the way that I know that I can help with clients, with others, etc. Just in terms of, they needed to ask what an emotional worth coach was. They needed to understand what was meant by emotional worth. And hi, Emily, I've just seen you join live on LinkedIn. Lovely to see you. And so as I started asking my clients and my leads what it was they thought would resonate better with them. Because as we all know, when trying to serve our clients, it's not necessarily about what it is we deliver, it's about what makes sense to them. And after a little while, someone mentioned the new branding as a potential word, and I got 3, maybe 4 others mention this as well. And finally, recently, one of my mentors actually just said, well, how about this as well? So I asked around and got some feedback, and about 50% of the people that I was speaking to actually turned around and said, you know what, David, this works. I like this. This should work. And so I'm delighted to be announcing, and I hope this works like it did in practice, I am now a stigma coach. So yes, I am actually changing what it is I am branding myself as. I'm now going to be helping traumatized, marginalized, stigmatized people become able to embrace their uniqueness. So we are very much in the early stages of this. I am very much looking forward to seeing how many people now I can help, because let's face it, we all have certain levels of stigma. Stigma is anyone who feels that their existence or their opinions are being used against them. So this could relate to an ism, whether that is ableism if you're disabled, whether that's to do with your chronic health, whether that's racism, whether that's any form of chauvinism, etc. Everybody has or can feel that they've been stigmatized at some point. Now, I'm still going to be specializing in people who have disabilities, who have chronic health issues, and people who would consider themselves neurodiverse. These are the areas in my life that I've got the most experience, so they're definitely the most easy for me to help you as an individual in with your stigma. But I'm able to help everybody who has stigma. I'm just going to predominantly be helping those who want help in and around their disabilities, whether that's trying to learn to accept and how to communicate with people around their needs. Don't touch the wheelchair, for instance, or maybe it might be a line along the lines of being able to explain that because of my cystic fibrosis, for instance, I'm unable to do X, Y, and Z at certain times on certain days, or the weather's too much for me right now. There's too many people with colds or flu or something like that during a winter event, and I'm not prepared to take the risk for my health. That can be quite stigmatizing. It can be quite traumatizing. And certainly in the case of relating to somebody's work, can actually cause difficulties when you're wanting to go into a new setting and That setting might not be remote friendly. It might be somewhere that requires you to be in the office 5 days a week. And that's not something that's particularly easy for yourself. So, that's going to be helping the people with the sort of chronic health difficulties, communication around disability needs, ableist language within a company. And, I'm able to help you not only just deal with the communication side of it, but I'm also able to help you with your limiting beliefs around why you are stigmatized and anything else within the stigmatization, how we can help you deal with that, whether it's communication at an individual level, whether that's communication between yourself and your family, communication even just between yourself, your limiting beliefs. If you believe you are not good enough for something, and all people in a chair or all people who have sight difficulties suffer this, it's not necessarily the case. Your experience is not necessarily the same as everybody else's experience. And if it is, we can help you work a way around this, work around the limiting beliefs, and also potentially even help you communicate the challenge to relevant places, whether that's publicity from, say, a newspaper, whether that's publicity in the form of writing to a member of parliament, a member of Congress, or someone within your political system, how to communicate these and how to start to really promote the needs that you have in a way that can benefit everyone, especially when it's somewhere that is mass affecting. Now, I would absolutely love to take some questions and answers from anybody within the crowd. So if you've got any questions about what it is to be a stigma coach, what kinds of services I'm going to be offering, I'd love to answer them now. I'm going to be hanging around till about 20 past the hour, so that I've given you plenty of time to be able to ask your questions. And obviously, if you're wanting to potentially work with me in relation to as a stigma coach, I'd be delighted to, send you some DMs, send you some more information. In terms of the services that I'm going to be offering and what it is that I actually do as a stigma coach, we work on communication. We work on your limiting beliefs. I utilize a process called emotional change therapy. This is an updated version of NLP, or neuro linguistic programming, where we help you relearn and reframe any potentially negative views that may exist around, say, for example, what it is you feel you can do. If you're constantly getting a feeling that I'm not good enough to do this, or I can't do this, then, working on your limiting beliefs, this can resolve this. This is done through, with me, emotional change therapy. Emotional change therapy, as I say, is an evolution of neurolinguistic programming. But what we've done is we've added in heart, and some of the heart-based discoveries that were made post 1970s when Bandler and Grindler were creating NLP. Some of this stuff was only realized as late as or as early as 2000. So about 30 years after NLP had been founded, we started discovering more about almost brain cells within the heart and how the heart is actually linked to an awful lot about what you think, how you feel, etc. The heart is just as critical as your brain. And sometimes you will find that the more negative part of your subconscious, the bit that wants to keep you safe, the bit that exists because there are still lions out there and those lions will still eat you. It's just not very common in the Western world anymore that a lion will eat you. There are other life-saving, things that the ego, or the more negative self-preserving part of yourself can protect you against. But certainly in countries like the United Kingdom, in countries like North America, Canada in North America, or America itself, the risk, thankfully, is a lot less than it used to be. Still high in places, but it's a lot less than it used to be. And the ego often triggers for completely daft things. Public speaking is an amazing example of something that's not realistically going to kill you, but it is one of the biggest phobias people have. Have a real fear of public speaking for no real reason, in as much as, yes, if you get it wrong, it could be embarrassing, but it isn't going to kill you. It isn't going to cause you life-threatening difficulties in the same way as a tiger or a lion or a hippopotamus crushing you, trying to eat you would. Now, what I can do with taking the emotional change therapy is we can look at where your limiting beliefs, where you feel the stigmatization came from. We can reframe this in your mind and allow you to see it in a different perspective. I've had this done on me many times with many of my more limiting beliefs. This is how I was able to step into my power. This is how I've been able to find a look, a feel that's comfortable, embracing exactly who it is that I am, so that I'm able to deliver this service for yourselves. I have been in the position for a number of years where I've been learning to live. Because of my cystic fibrosis, I survived, or much closer to survive, for many, many years, until 2016, in fact. I was 37-ish around the time that I got the really good meds that I'm now on. But prior to that, in sort of 2016, when I was, 33-ish, 34, I got one of the early ones. And for me, it stabilized me, and I had to learn how to live again. This is where I started on my journey with NLP. This is where I started on my journey with mindset. And I realized in 2020, when I got onto the really good ones, I need to do this for more people. I have to be able to help people learn to do more than just exist. We are not people designed to stay in bed or sit and watch daytime TV all day. Who wants to sit and watch reality TV all day, every day? Who wants to sit and watch the daytime TV shows? For example, who wants to sit and watch Dr. Phil all day, every day? Nobody really does. People do it because they need to. This produces more limiting beliefs. The fact that the medical community, although they have done it from a place of love and kindness, have often, with people with chronic health problems or disabilities, said, no, you can't do that. That will kill you, or that will give you more health problems. That's too challenging. It produces a fear-based mindset and makes us go into ourselves, shrink, helps us feel stigmatized, especially when you hear what's going on in the media these days from people able to just say, well, there's so many people needing benefits, or there's so many people, wanting to use Social Security. These people can't work, etc., etc. It's negative reinforcement on negative reinforcement. ECT will allow me to help you break through that stigma, break through those limiting beliefs, and completely and utterly embrace your uniqueness in however it is you wish to do so. Whether that's like me in terms of visual, whether that's like me in terms of how your mindset thinks, what it is that you want to do with your life. This is what being a stigma coach is all about. I help you get over your stigma. I help people, I help marginalized people transform from stigmatized to embracing their uniqueness. And I can't say it any clearer than that. And hopefully that really, really resonates with you. So as I've been talking about, the services that I can offer and what it is I can do for you, I've got 3 core offerings that I very quickly want to just sort of go over with people prior to finishing up this live. Now, one of them may sound a little bit unusual for someone who's feeling stigmatized. However, one of the side effects of feeling stigmatized, feeling traumatized from sort of outside influences, is people often develop phobias because of this. A phobia is, as I'm sure you know, an irrational fear of something, whether that's something as normal as going outside, agoraphobia. There are people who are really, really scared of going outside, especially post-pandemic. And I offer phobia resolution services that very, very quickly and very, very easily allow you to reframe in your mind how you see that phobia, whether that's a phobia of spiders, whether that's a phobia of clowns, phobia of outside, dogs, bright lights, vampires, whatever. We are able to completely and utterly reframe how it is you see that phobia, see the thing that's causing you trauma, and allow you to reframe it to a more positive light. Not necessarily going to be at the point where you're going to be best mates with Dracula when he comes around on Halloween, but at least you won't want to necessarily run away and be really scared. So I'd offer phobia resolution services, and these can often help people just kickstart getting over whatever it is that they're feeling stigmatized by. I'm also offering a transformation day, which is a 1 one-day process where we literally break you down to the core of your belief system. We take it down, we look at your values, and we rebuild you from the ground up, fully embracing your values, fully embracing your beliefs, and allowing you to discover your true purpose within life. This is typically a one-day process. It is sort of 8 to 10 hours minimum, but it's done online. We're able to work with you, and we're able to repeat the process or even book in subsequent things if necessary. I'm also offering what I'm calling a power hour, where we take one specific problem that you're suffering from, and I help you reframe the beliefs in and around that. So, for example, one person I know is suffering from a fear of, or inability to be able to accept some of the things that the doctors are saying to them. And this isn't a problem. I have no problem with you not necessarily agreeing with what the doctors say, but it's reframing it in your mind so that you can explain back to the doctors whether you accept it or not, and explaining to your family the results of that. I've got friends who are in other countries who are lost in terms of they want to do some form of business. They don't know what necessarily it is. They don't know how they can do it. They don't believe they can do it. I've got friends all over the world who are in positions similar to that. And the Power Hour is a very nice, very easy, very quick way to be able to take that information, take take those beliefs, reframe them within your mind, and start pushing out towards something more positive for you, for your family, for your friends, and to allow you to, as I say, embrace your uniqueness. Now, I'm just going to start sort of wrapping up here because I don't appear to have had any questions come in. I'm hoping Facebook's working. I've had no questions from LinkedIn. I am just checking as to whether there are any input from Facebook. But yeah, let's, if you've got any questions, feel free to ask away, and we will go from there. Oh, thank you, Emily. Thank you for saying that. I'm glad you feel that way. And yeah, I hope this helps more people. I'm trying to reframe this so that we are able to help as many people as I can worldwide. And yeah, let's see where we can go from here. Okay, it's looking like I'm not getting any questions in, but feel free to add them to the comments. These videos are obviously going to be remaining on the platforms. They're going to stay on my page, stay on LinkedIn, stay on YouTube for the foreseeable future. Ask away if you've got any questions, or if you want, just go to dwt.team, and there's a sign up link there to be able to sign up to my newsletter. I'd love for you to do that. Any questions, feel free to drop me a message. Feel free to leave a comment here, and I will get back to you. Thank you very much for joining this broadcast. And as I say, my name's Dave, and I'm a stigma coach. I help marginalized people transform from stigmatized to embracing their uniqueness. Thanks very much, everyone, and I enjoy the rest of your days.